Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Real Football Talk. And I mean, what a way to finish the game week, really, with a great performance and a great comeback from Liverpool at St James's Park. Cameron, how are you? How are you feeling?
Bro, when I tell you the amount of emotions I went through today,
Eh?
my voice is going. I'm just, oh God, I don't know what happened, man.
I see the Liverpool top is on. I bet you at halftime you had a different top on, eh?
Before the
Uh,
podcast, bro, what are you talking about?
I bet that wasn't on. But yeah, I mean, where else to start? Then at St James's Park. I mean, what a start! Electric start at St James's Park. You know what you're gonna get from Newcastle: electric pressing, intensity, and that's what they did. And obviously, Liverpool get sending off. We'll get to the sending offs, etc. But what's your straightaway reaction to the 2-1 win?
Ah, man, when I say we were horrible, the way the game started, they were all over us. Newcastle, man, they know how to suffocate you, innit? And I thought there was a time Liverpool used to press like this,
Yeah.
and it was giving me Liverpool of 18, when we were almost incredible at every moment of the game and we knew how to grind out results and Newcastle looked like they were going to do that to us. Uh Bruv, when I tell you like the way the decisions were going and the way the match was going, I was not confident, especially when we conceded.
Mm.
But
Let's get to the first one of the first key moments of the game. I would say is the should Trent have been sent off? What do you make of it? Because in my view, especially after speaking what we spoke in the VAR video, because what Trent done is far more cynical than what Tomiyasu done. So if we've been consistent, and this is what we were discussing, if we've been consistent, Trent should have gone.
if the first one's a yellow.
First one is a yellow. That's the new rule. If you kick the
But
ball,
I don't, I
throw the
don't, I
ball
don't
away,
think there was any malice in him throwing the ball.
it doesn't matter. That's the rule. It
Yeah,
it
but
does not matter if you throw the ball away, whether it's malice, no malice, nothing.
I don't know. I think it's different. I think if you are throwing the ball in malice
Um,
out of begrudgment,
you
then it's
know,
different.
if you've seen the Community Shield, if you've seen the first 2 week games everywhere,
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I agree with those.
no,
It
you
doesn't mean
don't
I
need to.
agree with
But that's
those.
the rule, innit? That's the rule. You have to agree with the rule, innit?
Again, but I think because I don't agree that the first one was a yellow, I think it evened out where he didn't give a yellow for the second one.
If
But
it
if we're going by the rules of the game, then
if
yeah,
it's
maybe a red
if
card.
it's if it's
We
the
got
rule,
lucky with the
it's
red
sending
card for
off.
Trent. I think we
Yeah.
got lucky with the red card for Trent.
Then obviously another key moment, obviously that just made Gordon even more exciting, and he just kept walking past Trent, and then he played the ball to Asak, and then Van Dijk lashed out. What did you make of it? Sending off or no?
I don't think he lashed out. I think he went for the ball. Yeah, he got him. I would say a foul, yellow card, not a red card.
He's through on goal.
Yeah, but it's not though, is it?
He is through on goal.
It's one of those where Van Dijk was close enough. If he didn't dive in, then he would have tracked his man, right?
Yeah, so then he should attract his man, but he that's the thing. He took the man out. So what I'm saying is he's through on goal. He's got a clear shot on goal. If he didn't do that, he's gonna go and have a shot.
But uh,
But
but
by
then
taking that
you've got the
decision to
law
take
that's
him
been
out,
brought in. You've got the law that's been brought in. That if it's not an intentional foul to stop a goal scoring opportunity, then it's not a immediate
Cam,
red.
Cam, are you telling me that wasn't intentional? Come on, he's taking the guy out.
It wasn't intentional. It
How is
definitely
that?
wasn't intentional.
But do you think any defender are they gonna say, "Oh, I didn't intentionally go for it"? Come on, man.
No, but he
That's
didn't. No,
that's
intent.
just silly.
The
Every
intention
defender's
was
gonna
the
say,
ball,
"I
though. The
intentionally went
intention
for the
wasn't the
ball."
man. The intention was the ball, not the man.
This is my point. Every defender's gonna say my intention wasn't the
No,
man
you
going for the
know the
ball.
difference between a
No, no,
man
no, no. That
player
was
going through the
clear. That
man.
was clear. Getting the man and the ball, whichever, just cleaning out. That's just cleaning out.
I
If
think that incident happens so many games. We're going to see so many incidents like that, and we're not going to see a red card. I can
no,
tell you now, we're going to
no,
see many incidents like that.
there's a major difference. I'll explain to you. The major difference is he's the last man. That's the major difference. His through on goal is the last man. That's why.
I don't think
If
it
that,
stopped the goal scoring
let me
opportunity.
let me explain. If that was the case where there was a defender behind him or in a round, it's different. Then it's a yellow. But because of the reason he's through clear on goal, it's a red card. That's the law.
I know the laws of the game, and like I
If you
said, the
if
only
you
reason I
see
don't think it's a
if
red
you
card
let me
is
finish. If you
because he's not in and go.
If
I don't think
he's on goal, where is he
I
going?
don't think so. I think if Van Dijk doesn't dive in, I think the only mistake that Van Dijk made there was diving in. If Van Dijk doesn't dive in, it's not a clear scoring
But he
opportunity.
done Imran, Cameron, that doesn't even come into play. If he does it, he done it. That
Yeah,
doesn't matter if he
but
did
then
it.
it does come into play because
How?
it's not then. All right, give it a few yards off. If it was 5 yards
Yeah,
off
but he
the box,
didn't. But he took the guy. He made the decision, Cameron. This if he didn't do it, he made the decision to take the guy out.
I generally don't think it would have been a goal scoring opportunity. That's why it is.
Where
That's
else
why
is he
it would
go?
have been a yellow.
Where else is he going if he didn't take him out?
It's not goal scoring opportunity. It might be getting into the box.
If he
Not
didn't
every
take him
single
out,
opportunity running into the box is a goal scoring
He's
opportunity.
the last man. He's the last man. If he doesn't take that guy out, he's going for a goal scoring opportunity. You understand that?
I don't think it's a red. I just think it wasn't malicious.
I don't know what you're thinking, but completely
I don't think it was a red.
I think
I think Trent. I think
like
if we're going
Carragher,
by the laws of the game, if we're going by the laws of the game,
it's a sending off
I
as well.
think Trent should have been sent off. Okay, if we're going based off a soft little throw and the foul, yeah, the
God.
foul definitely a yellow. I don't know why he didn't get a yellow for the foul, but I think it evens out because I don't think he should get a yellow for throwing the ball. You know, but again, because he did get a yellow, he should have got a yellow for both incidents, and because of those incidents, you could see even when the lack of concentration when we conceded the goal,
Yeah.
the fouls, the red card, the yellow card, they were playing on his head. I think maybe Trent and probably 100% of the time. No, we can't say 100% of the time, but I think most times a player like that in another team would get a red card or two yellows and a red card. But
Cam,
I don't think Van Dijk's one is a red card.
Cam, the same thing happened in the game for Nottingham Forest versus Man United. What happened to Joe Wood? Sent off.
Not in the exact same way, is it though? Is it?
It's through on goal. The guy he took him out, sending off.
That was a very clear, like that wasn't a
And
halfway.
this
Like
is very clear. He took the guy's leg, Cameron. This is very clear too.
I don't know.
Do you know the point I was gonna make is what Carragher was trying to do in the studio, and it just sounded absolutely ludicrous, trying to defend Van Dijk, saying, "Oh yeah, what's it called? If this and if that." If there is no if this and if that, he took the
There
guy
is
out
ifs though,
and
but there
gone.
are ifs. There
There
are
is no if.
ifs.
In this scenario. There is no if. There's not a man behind him to stop that play. He's through on goal. He took the guy out.
Again,
It's just
if there's no malice in a stopping a goal scoring
All right,
opportunity, then it's not. I genuinely
let me
believe
give you
if it's
another
a
example.
foul, it should be a yellow card. He
Let me
wasn't
give you another example.
even if it was the last man, he's not taking him out to from a
Let,
goal scoring
let me
opportunity.
give you another example. Let me give you another example just to better my point. David Luiz, I think it was 2018 or one of the seasons, yeah? Player goes through on goal. The player's leg touches David Luiz's knee slightly. He falls well. Guess what? Sent off.
Yeah, but we have to
If
go.
we
We have.
it's consistent. So this is a
No,
game.
it's not though. It's not consistent. It's not consistent.
It is.
If anything,
It
refereeing
is.
is so inconsistent that Van Dijk was surprised that he got a red card.
Van Dijk, why should he be surprised? He knows. He's just playing to it. He just
Oh,
plays.
come on. Look, if anything, yeah, as a Liverpool fan, Van Dijk is
Take the bias out. Take the bias out.
I'm trying to take the bias out. Like I said, I'm trying to take the bias out. Okay. Like I said, I'm trying to take the bias out. At the end of the day, I don't think anyone is truly unbiased. I don't think anyone's truly unbiased. I'm just saying Van Dijk is one of the no, but Van Dijk is one of the calmest people.
If that was Botman on Salah, would you ask for a red?
No, I'd understand if it's yellow.
You didn't answer my question. I said, would you ask for a red?
Anyone would shout for a foul. I don't think it was a red.
Out for a red card.
No, but
let's move on.
This is what I'm saying. If Botman did it to Salah and the ref penalized him with a yellow card, I don't think there'd be any complaints either.
There will be loads of even I would complain. I would complain because it's a straight blatant red card. But let's move on. I mean, what a turnaround, obviously, for Liverpool, because in the second half, Newcastle did put the pressure in, but Klopp made the subs to bring on Darwin Núñez, and I mean, what a two finish. I mean, what did you make of it, and what was the turnaround in your point of view?
I think the obviously refereeing decisions helped us out, in your opinion. I think if in that case it kept us in the game. It kept us in the game because what ended up happening is we became the type of team to hold back, almost counter press, in the sense that we became, parking the bus, waiting for those opportunities to counter attack. And I don't think we were particularly good today, even with 10 men, you can make the excuse that, that lack of player in midfield or up front. You can understand it, but I don't think we're that great on the ball today. We kept losing it, needlessly. But I think, I don't know. We dug in. We held off. If Almiron's
Great
goal goes in,
mentality.
yeah, but if Almiron's goal goes in when he hit the post, then we're looking at a different game completely, isn't it? So,
I mean, what a save, man! Come on, that's a great save from Alisson. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
He
Alisson
keeps,
saves us
he
day in,
keeps,
day
he
out.
keeps, he keeps pulling these wonder saves every single game. I see, and I was talking to Adil by like the day before, yesterday. I think we were discussing about Onana and some other guys, and I was just mentioning like the amount of time Alisson or a team goes 1-on-1 through against Liverpool, and Alisson just pulls out a worldie. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy to think though, because today's 1-on-1, yeah, there was just one. There's a small part of me that thought, sure, Alisson has this, sure, Alisson has this, but I think it just slipped through his leg.
Can't save him more, doesn't it? Can't save him more. Come on, man. Give the guy a
No,
break.
no, no, no. That's what I'm saying. You can't blame, like, 1-on-one's one of those. Sometimes incredible, sometimes you can't help it. The attacker's gonna score, but that save when Amaron took on because the volley was powerful, man. It was. I know it was within reach, but a lot of keepers let that in. Even if they get a hand on it, they that goes in.
The power probably carries it.
The power kills it, and I think Alisson to get it off the crossman and hit it out. But even later on, Amaron gets another chance. He hits the post. Takes on about 3 or 4 Liverpool players. So, like I said, we'd be talking about a completely different game. Newcastle could have won that game very easily.
I mean, if they took their chances and the creative opportunities that they made, if they were a bit more decisive in their play, they would have probably walked away with it. But what I was also going to say is, before even the sending off and stuff, and I think you briefly brought it up, was how ineffective was that midfield, because they couldn't handle any of the ball, and I was just surprised by them, especially McAllister and Szoboszlai, because they're really good on the ball. What did you make of their midfield? Because Newcastle's midfield just dominated it.
I think it was more so Endo's coming in first game. I don't think he was completely comfortable. I think he made a few like last ditch tackles and a few interceptions, made simple passes. I wouldn't say he was anything extraordinary. McAllister, I think he did quite well holding off the ball, but I think when it comes to controlling that game, especially Joe Linton, he was eating us alive. He every time he got the ball, even Gumaresh, every time he had that ball, it's almost as if
saucy all game, apart from giving the ball away for the second goal.
Yeah, but I'm saying every time he got the ball, it's almost as if he was 10 steps ahead. He knew when to run in, when to take the ball out. He found the game too easy. But yeah, like I said, we got lucky. If we're looking at the Trent decision and the Van Dijk decision, that could be easily 2 red cards.
Yeah.
But Darweezy saved the day.
What I was gonna bring you to is a bit more to Newcastle, and this seems to keep happening with Newcastle, where when it's under pressure, Eddie Howe and his team seem to give the opportunity or the game away. Not the first time it's happened. What did you make of them again? Do you think they got a bit complacent, thinking that they 1-0 up? He made too many substitutions in terms of taking key personnel off, like Sandro Tonali in midfield when they were dominating. I get it, they're refreshing the leg, but in a game of that magnitude, you need that second goal before you can not afford to do that. Do you think he kind of choked, or Newcastle choked?
I don't think he choked. I think he kind of reminds me of what Gerrard did with Villa against City in that last game when Liverpool and City were both going for that title, and Villa were up 2-0, and then they tried to go defensive, and then City dominated. I think that's kind of what happened. I think Eddie Howe saw an opportunity where man up. I've got an opportunity to just hold the win now. The last 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
And I think it kind of backfired because he had a lot of control of the game attacking wise. Because let's be honest, with Gomez, Matip, and Trent, we weren't the most comfortable on the ball.
No.
Gomez, even Robertson, like the amount of times he lost the ball again needlessly. I think attack was their best defense. And I think when he went almost too defensive, it kind of changed the game for them.
But what I was gonna also mention is the fact that obviously what's the new the youngster, the right back that you put on?
Quas.
And Yeah, and you played Trent a bit more centrally. I think that also gave a bit more, not license, I would say, a bit more structure for you guys, because then obviously there was a central defender or a player centrally that could find those passes. Because this is what we were talking about last week when we talk about Trent not receiving the ball back, facing back, but when he's opened up and facing, he can cut those passes through. And if you look at the first goal, where Trent passes it through. That's what he's great at, and he gives it to Salah. Salah flicks it off to Jota, and then obviously he goes off Botman, and then they go and score. So I think that move to bring kind of Klopp to bring Trent slightly more central, I think really benefited them. And
I think it works at points in the game, and I think we
yeah.
have to read the game better. I think Liverpool, this might be a reflection of what we might need to do more often, which is sometimes we need to go into games and instead of playing our way, we need to play a different way. And I think even though we were down to 10 men, I think us being a bit more pragmatic and holding back and actually playing on the counter, that could be maybe a tactic that Liverpool now start to look at and do more often, because then it does give maybe Trent the opportunity to come more centrally, against teams like Newcastle, Villa, the teams that will push us, the ones that will make it difficult for us to come out of the box or play it out sometimes.
You're saying go more direct to the
Yeah, like when Nunes came on, I think you saw that we almost brought Salah in as like a number 10.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, I think it's completely down to us going down a man, because otherwise we would have kept the structure very similar. Even with Elliot coming on, I think going down to 10 men, it made us a lot more compact, and it meant we had to play more direct. But that's what I'm saying. I think with 11 men, if there's games like that, we have to play like that, because when you've got a team like Newcastle who are so energetic, so good at pressing you, sometimes maybe that's the best thing to do, because
you have
somehow
to.
we made it out, man.
If the press is so good, then you have to unfortunately go long, because even for 5-10 minutes you have to. I know your game might be to play out. If you're not good enough, and if you haven't got the players to do it yet, or Endo's not confident, whatever the reason is, just for the first 10 minutes, Newcastle's gonna be up roaring. 10 minutes, just go long. Just play it safe. Play, get the fans down, and then start playing your football and getting into the game. Just a bit streetwise. That's all they need to do. But I do reckon. I've lost my thought now. I lost my chain of thought.
Okay. What do you think? Let me just add to something. I think this game is a pure example of we might have won, but I think this should push the owners to at least sign a centre back and a centre mid, by the end of the window. Even if it's, maybe not our first target, but someone who can come in and stay and be in this team long term, not an Alpha Melo like we did last year, but like someone, we need centre back and centre mid of good quality to come in that can help refreshen the squad. And when Van Dijk comes back, then we've got an array of centre backs who are ready to play. We've got an array of centre mids, and if the rumors are true and we are going into January looking to sign a few more, then at least secure us up until January. I think there's a lot of gaps in our team at the moment, and I think even though we've won, it's just papering over those cracks.
Do you reckon that's what I was gonna say, is that it might be kind of not a blessing. I think it might be a pain point, because what that might do is show to the board that they have enough for them to cover maybe.
Like I said, I think this win was typical of the Liverpool I saw when we fought City neck and neck, or when we won the league, because somehow we still grinded out a win.
This reminds me, brings back my chain of thought. It seems like Liverpool play better when they go down to 10 men, because they're more secure and then playing in the counter.
I mean, we're already winning against Bournemouth when we went man down.
But do you get my point? Like,
yeah.
Even against Bournemouth, no, you were drawing, and then you go and score the
No, it's 2-1. Then we scored 2-1. Yeah.
It felt like they were more secure when they went 10.
That's what I'm saying. I think maybe sometimes some games, depending on how the game's going, we need to approach it from a more pragmatic point of view. Instead of playing our style of football and trying to play our way, maybe let us be compact and let them try and bring on the pressure, and then let us counter. Let us play a different style. because
Only,
maybe that's what
only,
helps us more now.
only thing is, can they handle that defensively? Obviously, so if they keep pressing Trent, that's going to, because there was so many times that Gordon and Harvey Barnes just walked through. But again, like I said,
Yeah,
indecisiveness
I
is
don't think Harvey Barnes was as threatening, but I agree
not
with
as
you.
threatening. But
Trent,
there was one
Trent
key
was
moment.
having a howler today.
There was one key moment where Harvey Barnes goes through.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was still at 1-0, and he doesn't play the pass to Wilson properly, and then obviously Liverpool go on to score. So yeah, it was a key moment, I would say, where he swung the other way. Let's move on to the other games of the week. Let's move on to Arsenal versus Fulham.
Fulham.
Where, I mean, 10-man Fulham came back. I mean, you would think, obviously, Arsenal going 1-0 down after howler from Saka, and I don't know what Ramsdale was doing.
Yeah,
Uh,
that goal
um,
completely was so odd. When I
yeah,
looked at it, I thought this is Sunday League, the way it went
and
in.
then and then obviously he makes the subs to bring Vieira on, and then obviously we get 2 goals, and then you get a red card. You're thinking, you know what, boom, perfect. And then we go and concede at the other end where Jorginho and Zinchenko front post. You can't defend the front post header. Um, Paulinho and Fulham get the goal, and credit to them. 2 mistakes, and it cost them a game.
I was very surprised actually. When it comes to Arsenal, ever since last season, I just pin them as favorites every time, home and away.
Yeah,
Um, so for Arsenal to be playing home, Fulham coming as the visitors, I get it's a London derby, but it's not that type of London derby. Do you know what I mean? It
100.
not to say that Fulham's not a good team and they won't put pressure on you. I just felt like Arsenal should have been more comfortable. The
Yeah,
first goal
they
going
should have.
in.
They should have.
The
They should
first
have.
goal going in, I think that's also to do with maybe Party, not being a natural right back, so he's drifted in a bit too early. Um, Ben White, what was he? He was in no man's land
No,
essentially.
no. So see, I had a lot of people talk about that, and he can't. If you see the play, the way it built up, where Ben White goes is the right position,
No,
because
no, that's what I was gonna
then
say. I don't think it's his
what then
fault. He's
yeah
in
what
no
then
man's land.
yeah what that
You
what
can't do
that
anything
what that
there.
allows is then obviously for Saka to do a wall pass to him and then go or whatever, and the all recycle. But what the problem was is that Partey, knowing he was more centrally because he is playing as the right back,
Yeah.
instead of pushing forward, he should have seen the scenario and stayed there. But
This is
that's
what I'm
also
saying.
not,
I
yeah.
think where he's not a natural right back, he drifted
That's
in too
also not
early.
his fault. That's also not his fault because he's a midfielder and he's thinking of that way. Where if we had played our original 4 like we used to do, I guarantee you Saliba would have been in that space.
Yeah.
So that would have been cut out, and Gabriel would have been on the other side. And it brings to my point what I was going to discuss with you about this is the fact that, is this experiment working? Why are we playing so many players out of position? Why are we playing Tomiyasu at left centre back? I'm sorry, this obsessiveness with this 3 at the back or whatever. Just go back to. I get it with Timber, it works because he can defend, he can attack, he's tactically brilliant, he can handle the ball under pressure. Tomiyasu can't do that.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's just a bit silly.
I don't get it. I don't like that Liverpool have tried it at times with putting Trent in the middle. I think it enables Trent to play a bit more creatively because he has more of the pitch to work with compared to playing on the right. But even then, I don't think we have the players for the system.
Yeah.
And I think with Arsenal, I think it's the same. Last year, I don't think it was the system that was at fault. I just think it was that the players had never been in a position where they were going for the title. It
It
almost
was that
felt
and squad
as
depth.
if they felt the
There
pressure.
was squad depth lacking, so that was the problem.
Yeah, no, of course, but I just think
Mm.
this year should have Arteta built on the system he already was playing and brought in the players that he needed to fit that system.
Yeah.
Again, you guys would have gone for a title charge. I mean, it's too early to say you
I
might still go,
yeah.
but I just don't think this system is working for Arsenal.
No, that's what I think. I think it's early in the systems, obviously, because he's only started using it from preseason. It's early, so it will take time. But you don't have time in the Premier League. There is no
Yeah,
easy game in the Premier League.
I just don't get it.
You know what I mean?
I
Working
don't
it
think
in the
Arsenal should be
background.
playing at this.
Yeah, so it's I don't know. It's silly, 2 mistakes again, and that's another striking thing is that a lot of the times, this is like the third time where within the first minute we given. Why are we asleep every single time? Against Bournemouth last year, it happened. I think against Southampton, again, it happened first minute. Why? It begs the question, why are the
Um,
players asleep? It's it's definitely something to keep an eye on because surely that's more of a, I would say, mentality thing because you're not switched on, you're not ready for the game, you're not ready to go back. You should be ready from the first minute. I used to play Sunday League. Everyone used to tell that first minute, first tackle, you let them know you're in the game. Boom.
yeah, I think it might be a mentality problem, or it might be that maybe sometimes the players go in and where it's a new system, I know they're top athletes, but most of that team has been with Arteta now was 3 years. You know, they've developed in that system. I think players like Havertz who have come in new, you know, and I know he's been scapegoated a lot with this game, but I also think he's not helped himself. He's not been that great for Arsenal since he's come in. You
He
know,
hasn't, but I think for I mean, this game he was awful. I can't even defend him for this game. I'm sorry. But the previous two game I can because he did offer us a lot, a bit off the ball and a lot of unselfish running, and he did have the most stats for like the most attacking position one and so on and so forth. So I could see where, but this game, yeah, I mean, awful. Didn't show anything. And another thing I was gonna say is the fact that why not start Eddie? I'm sorry, the guy first game got us the he scored a goal. Second game he won us the penalty. So keep at him. Why change again? And just some of the decision is just bizarre from Arteta.
yeah, I
And
think
again,
we've had this
another game
conversation, haven't we, where we said is sometimes Arteta's game management isn't always the best. You know, whether it's substitution decisions on the pitch, sometimes maybe that's what lets Arsenal down.
Mm,
You know,
mm.
I mean,
I
it'll
don't
be
think it's.
interesting to see. I think it'll be interesting to see because I think this will be kind of like it will piss them off, and I think going into the next game, I think we'll see a more alert Arsenal
I think
side.
it's happened at the right time. That's what I would call it. You rather have that happen now than say for
Yeah,
instance in March or April. Do you know what I mean? So you rather have that happen now. So yeah. I mean yeah, but I mean credit to Fulham and Marco Silva. I mean they hang in there, 10 man, showed great mentality and got a point for it.
yeah, and I think again with Fulham, I think they did show that grit and determination. I do think again Arsenal they they were unfortunate because I think it was the two mistakes that let Fulham back in the game.
Yeah.
In that sense, I don't think Fulham fully deserved to win that, but you could have easily said that Arsenal deserved to draw that
Mm.
because of their performance.
Because of the
Nothing more
mistakes.
than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Saka, I mean, you missed another sitter, mate. I'm watching you.
I think you know what attackers miss chances all the time, but it was just that going back that pass. I just couldn't understand it, and what Ramsey was doing, I just couldn't understand what was happening in that situation for him to
Yeah,
be
I
moving out of
mean, I
position
mean,
like that.
Ramsdale probably feeling the pressure from what's his name, man?
Raya,
Raya. He's
Raya,
feeling the pressure,
yeah.
man.
He's like,
Maybe.
oh no,
Well, he's not helping himself, is he? He's not helping himself. He's giving
it's not.
Raya the chance, you know. And that's not what you want as a keeper because you know getting that place back is hard. Um, but yeah, let's move to obviously United, who had a torrid time last week against Spurs, but an awful start again for this game. I mean, going 2-0 down within 4 minutes against Forest, and then obviously great fighting spirit and determination to come back and win the game 3-2. What did you make of it, and what did you make of the start? Because for that first goal, what on earth is Rashford doing? I'm sorry.
It's it's it was a bit like Bellerin against Salah. Do you remember?
Yeah. A couple
You
of weeks
know,
back.
yeah, it was a bit like that where it was a bit of he felt he had more time on the ball than he actually had. You know, instead of maybe protecting the ball or passing it off.
Got scared. He got scared of Anuani, or I can't pronounce
Yeah.
his name. He thought he was coming.
But he's been fantastic for Forest. But I think the disappointing thing for Forest would be that this is probably why they'll be in a relegation scrap because there's too many mistakes and there's too much defensive liability where
Right.
that's the type of game where you've gone 2-0 up at Old Trafford, you know? Even if the game ended in a draw, I think where they went up so early, it's one of those games that if you want to stay in the Premier League, you need to grind those games out. A draw or a win, especially when you went up first, is
Yeah.
exactly what you need to do to stay up. And I think this is one of the reasons that they're going to be fighting for relegation. I just think you can't play the way that you played and then have a complete 180 and then almost look like you on the losing side throughout the game. United, you know, credit to them, they piled the pressure on. They start to get more into the game. I
Yeah.
think Bissaka was probably one of the best players. I think Fernandes grew into the game as the game grew, and then I just think
But
United
what I was
eventually I don't think they deserve to win, but they won because of their grit and determination. You can't say anything
Yeah,
more
what I
than
was
that.
gonna say is I think out of the 2 or 3 odd games that they have played, this has been the best game I think they probably have played in terms of attacking wise,
Yeah.
where they have created enough clear cut chances. They've had chances that they created in previous matches, but it wasn't as clear cut as some of the ones they created in this game. And I think obviously that is also down to Nottingham Forest not helping them, so because defensively they are awful.
This is what I think. I think if Nottingham Forest
What's going on?
upheld that performance for a bit longer, even half an hour extra,
Well, I mean,
then
Joe Worrell took Fernandez out and then got a red card, so that doesn't aid their cause any further, anyway. So
I mean we've been seeing so many red cards. I think at this point teams need to stop training 10 versus 11.
I think they should. I think they should.
I think
Wait.
it's one of those things that they should be putting in the training training plan now, because it seems as if every week one team or another is getting a red card and they're going to be 10v11. But again, I think United, I think you're right, they showed their best performance yet, but I don't think it's their best performance of the season. I
No, no,
think
no.
they I don't know what it is. I think they've had the preseason, they had almost a very, not say a very good season, but they had a good season under Ten Hag last year. I'm surprised they haven't kind of kicked on and been a bit better. Do you know what I mean? They're not. I don't know. They're not lighting.
I think they will
They're
become
not lighting up the
more
league.
stable once they have Hoyland up front, when they have a bit more stable base. I think obviously there's also a lot of moving parts, so I think that's why I think after the transfer window is finished, and everything is decided basically, then there's no rumors about Maguire going, this guy going, that guy going, this guy coming. There's none of that. I think they will slowly improve, because then Ten Hag can go and say to players, look, you either stick with me or you're not. Do you know what I mean? You're
Yeah,
rotting
yeah,
on the bench or whatever.
yeah,
He
yeah.
can, and he'll know his squad. At the moment, he doesn't know his squad fully because he doesn't know who's going and who's staying.
And
So
fair enough. I think with Hoyland coming in, it will give them a change in system, because I think that was the plan. He was going to come in. They probably planned to have their players playing in a certain system with him in. Rashford's not a natural striker. I know
yeah,
Martial, he's had his injury problems and his form's not always been the greatest for United. So you can give it to United. At least they still grinded out the result.
yeah, no,
But I
definitely.
think for a top team, I think the way they've invested their money towards certain players, um, they don't seem to have improved that much. That's all I think. They've not
No,
improved
no.
that much.
Based on the performances, yeah. Based on the performances, no, definitely no. I agree.
Yeah. And
Um,
I don't think it's completely their attack. Centre mid, Casemiro's not looked his best. I know he's got a goal, but he's not looked his best, defensively. Overall, I don't think the team has looked at their best yet.
there's
I
not.
know they've got injury problems as well. So I think maybe you're right. Maybe when there's a bit more stability, we might see a better version of them. But at the moment, they've not been that convincing.
Yeah, concerning time. That is what I would say. Hopefully it continues for a long time. But let's move on to Friday night. I mean, my beloved Luton playing away at Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, giving Chelsea their first win. I'll go to you, and then I'll give you my verdict of what I thought of it. What did you make of the game? I mean, Chelsea coming away 3-0 win. Sterling and Jackson completely dominating the game.
I would say Sterling dominated the game. I think he's been their best performer, their best player this season so far. Every game, I know not a lot of Chelsea fans think it, because sometimes I think Sterling tries a bit too much, but I think it just shows that he's ready to take the man on. He's ready to get in the box. He is trying things, and that's the only thing you can ask of an attacker. And I think it finally played off for him, because this Luton game, he absolutely, dominated them.
He felt like he got his confidence back. That's what he was lacking all this time
Yeah.
because obviously last year you saw him, it didn't even look like he could take a man on.
Yeah, and I think
And
there's
then
a bit more competition in that
yeah,
specific team
and
now. And I think with Pochettino, I think he's obviously got certain instructions and he's probably a bit more ruthless than he used to be at maybe Spurs.
yeah.
So, because he's got an array of players now that he can bring on,
Mm.
if you're not performing. So I think it adds an extra incentive, for them to perform. But I think Sterling and Jackson were brilliant.
Yeah. But
Luton weren't as great.
no,
Um, Personally, I just think they're gonna go down. They're
but do you know
performing
what I
as
was gonna
bad as
say?
Everton at this point.
No, but you know what I was gonna say? I was gonna say is there were impressive moments for Luton the way they were pressing etc. But there's also cause for concerns because I look at that team and I can see where the qualities are missing. I reckon we need another midfielder. I'm sorry, Tahi Chong is not good enough as that right center mid, right center attacking mid. He's not good enough on the ball. He's not good enough defensively. He can't
Yeah,
protect that ball. So that's an issue. The young lad from Wolves that we signed at left wing back, Giles again, sleeping for that second goal. I don't even know why you lost the ball. You track back and get back into position. I don't know why, and it was like that throughout. I know
yeah,
he's got a very good left foot to put crosses in, but again, even at that, he was awful. So, um, and then that brings me to the other part in terms of our defenders. The three defenders. I mean, you got Amari Bell. I don't think he believes that he can play at that level. He just doesn't seem confident at all. Then you've got Lockyer, who's, I mean, you're Wales international. Be a bit smart. You can see Jackson is far stronger than you. So why try getting so close to him? Be a bit smart. Maybe go initially and then sit off and then win that ball. But he was
I
going
think
so close and then getting spun, and then all of a sudden you got Reece Burke in no man's land, and there's no way because he's very slow. He's gonna ever keep up with Jackson. It was causing so much issues.
yeah, I think with Luton, I think it's the inexperience of the Premier League, and I think it's gonna show all season. There's gonna be times where they might even go up, they might get that goal, but I don't think you can ever trust them to hold on and win the game. Um, I don't know. Just looking at the way they're performing at the moment, I don't know when they're gonna win a game. It's
Don't
it's.
worry, we're coming for your hometown, West Ham, soon. Don't worry. At the
I just don't.
cannon.
Yeah, but I don't know. Luton, I'm not I'm not too
I
sold.
mean, it will be
I
it will.
think they've made good signings. I think it's what you said. I think they are making signings. So if they do go down, they're ready to kind of jump back up
Mm.
into the Premier League. Not to say that they don't want to stay up already, but I think they're being realistic as well. That there is a lot of improvement to make.
Yeah, I mean, and also not just in terms of that, and also in terms of the gameplay. I just think obviously what they could get away with it in the Championship. I don't think you can get away with in the Premier League because in the Championship, yes, you can lump it up to Morris and Adebayo, and they can beat the defenders, etc. But in the Premier League, I'm sorry, all Premier League, these defenders, you're telling me Thiago Silva can't header a ball. You're telling me Desai can't header a ball. You're telling me Van Dijk can't header a ball. These
Yeah,
guys will eat you up. It's not the Championship. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
The
So
quality difference between the
it,
two leagues
yeah, you
is
you
crazy.
need to have a bit more than just play up to Morris and then obviously get on from the flick on. Even though they got a
Yeah.
chance from it, but yeah, there is.
You can't count on hopefully winning a header, running in behind all game. You need more to your game than that. I know you could say Stoke City were a bit like that, but Stoke City had quality around the pitch. I don't see Luton with that quality around the pitch. You
No.
know, I just wanted to go back to the United game,
Mm.
because I think I saw some similarities. I think with Nottingham Forest, um, they play like that to an extent. They do try and knock it forward and hold the ball down, but I think they've got I think they want to win that second ball. I don't see
They,
that
but
with
they
Luton.
they've got they can also mix it in terms of they got quality players like what's his name, like Morgan Gibbs White, like Brennan Johnson, like their midfield Danilo, they can handle
That's what
the
I'm saying.
ball.
I think they
uh
they they've got
with
players who are
Luton.
willing to win that second ball, who've got determination, the strength, the grit to win that second ball. I don't see that with Luton, and I mean that's how Luton scored their first goal. I mean I don't know what Onana was doing, but
Oh,
you know
you're talking about
Luton. Sorry,
Forest.
Forest. Yeah, sorry. Well, I don't know what Onana's doing, but I mean that's besides the point. I just don't see Luton with that quality, even with
Oh, we've
Morris.
said that, right? We've said that they haven't got that quality. The only one that looks you can see Premier
Barkley.
level players, Barkley, because even with some of the touches, the turns, the passes, the way of the pass to the right foot,
Yeah.
correct foot for the player to turn out. Small details. These are the small details makes huge difference in the
Yeah,
Premier
but
League.
he can't do it himself.
That's
I
what.
know he was the main man at Everton, but I mean he didn't do much at Chelsea.
Listen, hopefully he will. He'll carry us. Listen, that 17th spot is good. It's good. We don't
All right,
mind.
as long as you get 17th. All
Good.
right. But I don't know. I've seen it
10
every year.
wins.
Everton will scrape it out. They will make it out of there somehow.
10 wins at the Kenny. It's good. It's good.
Okay. Like I said, Everton somehow will make it out of there.
um, but let's move on. Obviously, damning result for Luton at Chelsea, giving them their first win. What before we finish off, what did you make of Poch and the Chelsea's first win?
They needed it, didn't they? They needed that win. I think it was kind of, the stats were flying around. Is it the first win in 13 games?
Something like that.
Something like that. Do you know what I mean? So it was, I think they needed it. And I mean, I know Poch has only been in charge for 3 games, but I think you can see that there is a vision with Chelsea and there is going to be a play style. Pochettino, like I said, is a very good coach, and I think he has a very, very good play style. I mean, he got Tottenham to a Champions League final, so with the players that he has at his dispense, he will disposal. He will perform.
It will
well.
improve them. Yeah, he will
Yeah,
improve.
he'll improve them massively. But I think Poch is a different world for him now, isn't it? When you go from Daniel Levi, to Ted Bowley, if you need a player, I think he'll
Word
get
for
his player.
choice. Word for choice.
If he needs a player, he'll get it.
What's it called? What I was gonna say. Before we finish off. Before we finish off, let's just quickly round up the other results. I mean, Man City, I mean, they struggled a bit at Sheffield. I mean, obviously, Haaland missing a penalty. They did create loads of chances, they just couldn't convert. And then obviously, Sheffield-born Kyle Walker passes and it creates an opportunity for Sheffield, and they get back 1-1. And then, I mean, Rodri, mentality monster. What a finish! Gets a win for them. And then your hometown club, West Ham. With 22% or less possession, smash and grab at its finest. Premier League.
I just like to put it out there.
Finest.
Yeah, I know I'm from London, but I can't stand West Ham. I just need to put
What? That you live there,
it.
mate.
I know I'm from London. I know they're my local, but I can't stand them. So I just want to put that out there.
3-1 win against Brighton. I mean, impressive.
Very surprised. That was actually one of the most surprising results
of the week. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the most surprising results because I don't know. I felt like West Ham are a good side, but the way Brighton have been, I just felt they would probably win that game.
I mean, I think everyone would have, but I mean, credit to West Ham. They hang in there. They do. That's
30%
what
possession.
they do.
30%. Ward-Prowse has been a shining light for them.
Exactly. I mean, another goal for him this time as well. So
and they signed Kudus apparently, so that's gonna add some goals. Hopefully,
Kudus is coming.
So West Ham are looking threatening. They look like they might take the top 7 slot.
I mean, Jared Bowen said, isn't it? They're top of the league until Man City play, which turned out to be his prediction was right.
Yeah.
On that note, Cam, thank you for joining as always. For those of you watching, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, and hopefully no more red cards, eh?